proper care is not taken. For example, refilling the pits and putting the vegetation on the pits, or taking care not to destroy the water bodies and the fields. If this care is taken, I don't think mining can create a problem.
Clams are a very important part of the Goan's diet. I mean, Shenanios, Tisrios, all these, shellfish, category of shellfish, crabs, all these are very important component, and we normally utilize them when we don't have an opportunity of going out to the sea. For example, during the months of the monsoon, when there's a ban on fishing, and people then begin to use all sorts of other ways to get their access to fish protein. At that time, these things are very important for the local people. Now, most of this type of marine organisms, they grow and they multiply on the river beds, and they require that that is their ecology, that is the place where they can breed and survive and so on. Now, and that is mostly in the saline area. It is the interface between it's actually in the estuarine area. That is the interface between the salt and the sweet water that goes on all the time. The same sort of place where you have the mangroves coming up. Now, these type of organisms, since they are at the bottom, they need constant access, they need constant opening of the shell to breathe. Now, what happens is that in most of these places where mining has taken place and where the sediments have got into the mining beds, this sediment has formed a huge layer on the Zuari and Mandovi estuarine beds. With the result is that the clam population which is there has been completely decimated and asphyxiated. I mean, they have created a whole new and artificial environment there in which they can't survive.
Apesar destas concessões terem sido dadas em termos perpétuos, hoje há que pensar se devem ser mantidas ou não.
We should have been intelligent enough to say that, okay, these mining leases which were given by the Portuguese 100 years ago or something, I mean, they were given at that time for manual operations. Right now, we can re-examine whether mining and Goa can coexist. It was a good opportunity, because when we began to develop tourism as a big industry and we began to develop other things like industrial estates and so on, we could make a calculation and say that now between the three, industry, tourism and mining, should we not phase out mining? Because mining is an inherently destructive industry. It's an extractive industry. You extract the ore, but in the process you destroy your forest, you destroy your streams, you destroy your paddy fields, you destroy entire village communities. And this is a temporary industry. Means once the ore is removed after 15 years, then the land is left as a barren piece and nothing will grow on it again. So you don't compromise permanent ecology for a temporary gain. Nobody does it. It doesn't make any economic sense or ecological sense or whatever, even legal sense it doesn't make, because we are really affecting the rights of people for decades to come. If you look at the veins in the body, they convey blood in one direction. the arteries convey it in another direction. So nature is it follows the same path. I mean, actually our human bodies follow nature's path. The wind comes in from the west, goes to the east, and then goes back again back to the west. So the rivers are the veins, because the arteries are in the air. It's the monsoon that brings the water, but the veins that take it back. So you don't unnecessarily clog the veins with all sorts of sediment.
How sand mining affects the rivers of Goa?
Beach sand is required as a fundamental buffer between the tidal waves and the land. If you have a rock, if you have a wall, then the energy of the tide cannot be dispersed, so it destroys the wall or it destroys the rock. But if there is sand is created by nature to disperse the energy of the waves. So once a wave hits the sand, because of the minute particles, its energy just diffuses. So once you remove the sand, then you are removing a very crucial thing that nature has put to keep the beach in a condition in which it can meet the energy of the waves. So once you remove that, then there is no interface between the land and the sea, and therefore you have an exponential increase in erosion, and the sand, the sea just eating away the coast or the riverbank, because we have removed the intermediary material that was there. People are given licenses and they go and extract sand, and there is no control over the quantities of sand that are removed. But the result is that they are causing serious problems with the riverbed, and the flow of the water is altered. And eventually this is affecting the riverbanks, leading to the collapse of riverbanks in many areas. The licenses are given today on the ground that there is sand, so you go and remove it. It's not given on the fact that, what is that sand doing, how much quantity can you remove, what is the total quantity available, how much can you extract from it, and so that it becomes renewable, how soon will it be replenished. Those considerations don't apply. It's the thing that the material is there, you go, extract it, take it, sell it. That's the way business is done. And that is the reason why there's a lot of opposition to this type of sand mining, because it's an artificial pressure that has been put on the riverbed because of the construction industry.
Sand mining is to some extent is important. Actually, the rivers are to be desilted because it is a heavy rain, and when rain comes, the mud and the soil also deposits in the river. So therefore, desilting is important, but desilting is hardly done, and therefore sand extraction has become a boon to a certain extent.
O turismo tem tido uma importância cada vez maior na economia de Goa, principalmente através dos barcos que levam os turistas para pequenos passeios ao longo do rio, os houseboats, bem como os casinos ancorados no rio Mandovi.
All those casinos, all the cruise boats, all the yachts has barges and fishing boats, those trawlers. They are full in the stretch of in the Mandovi from Miramar to the boat jetty.
The first offshore casino started in Goa. It was in 2000.
I mean, what is the number of casinos right now in Goa?
At present, if you ask me about the offshore casinos, there are number 6 casinos in Goa. As per the Goa Gambling Act, under Section 13A, it has been permitted only in the 5-star hotels in the Goa. So only outside people, like American people, like English guys, like Gulf people, they all come to Goa and they stay in a 5-star. And for that reason, Goa state government have chosen a 5-star only to put up these casinos.
How much casinos contribute for the Goan economy?
Each casino, offshore casinos, pays 5 crores annual fee to the state government. Plus, every entry fee, every person who enters, suppose 1,000 people enter every day, 200 rupees per each individual who enter there goes to the government, plus entertainment tax for 10%. It goes to the government. If you have been there sometime, or you can, one day we can go there and have a look.
I will accept your invitation.
this casino industry, since it started in Goa from 1995 onward, there are a lot of people, Goan origin, get a lot of jobs on these ships. Otherwise, all boys or the young generation of Goans, they used to go abroad, like in the Gulf.
Our family are dependent on us, so it's good to work in Goa itself, rather than going abroad.
I'm working from last 10 months here. I'm a dealer, working as a dealer. I love to deal, like, I want to become a professional dealer.
Enquanto os casinos vão ganhando vida, os rios dormem. Amanhã será um novo dia. E pronto, chegamos ao fim de mais um Contacto Goa. Espero que tenham gostado de estar connosco. Nós gostamos sempre de estar na sua companhia. Até daqui a 15 dias. Este programa é patrocinado por Centro Cultural Comunicar.